Did you know that history is full of bizarre events that sound like they belong in a science fiction movie? Today, we're uncovering some of the most chilling, mind-bending, and outright bizarre events in history. Buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll be questioning everything you thought you knew about the past. Welcome to Facts Quest, where we dig deep into the world's most mind-blowing historical events that no one talks about. Whether you're a history buff or someone who just loves a good mystery, today you're in for a ride like no other. Ready to uncover the weirdest events in history? Let's dive in. The year is 1618. Europe is on the brink of religious upheaval. The continent is a powder keg of religious tension, with Protestant and Catholic factions vying for power and influence. In Prague, tensions between Catholic rulers and Protestant nobility have reached a fever pitch. The city is a microcosm of the larger religious conflict brewing across Europe. On May 23, a group of Protestant nobles marched towards Prague Castle to confront the Catholic regents suppressing Protestant rights. Their mission was clear: to demand an end to the persecution. Inside the castle, the regents awaited the Protestant delegation, unaware their fate hung in the balance. The air was thick with anticipation and dread. The meeting was tense, filled with accusations and threats. Suddenly, chaos erupted. Voices were raised and tempers flared. The Protestant nobles seized the Catholic regents and dragged them to a window. The scene was chaotic, with shouts and struggles echoing through the castle halls. The crowd outside gasped as the regents were hurled from the high castle window. It was a moment of sheer disbelief and horror. Amazingly, the regents survived the fall, landing in a pile of manure. This unexpected twist added a bizarre element to an already dramatic event. Whether by divine intervention or sheer luck, their lives were spared. The regents' survival only added to the legend of the defenestration, but the consequences of that day would reverberate throughout Europe. The defenestration was more than just a dramatic episode, it was a catalyst for widespread conflict. The defenestration of Prague ignited the 30 Years' War, one of the most brutal conflicts in human history. This war would reshape the political and religious landscape of Europe. This seemingly isolated act of violence shattered the fragile peace in Europe. The continent was plunged into chaos and bloodshed. For the next 3 decades, the continent was consumed by war, its lands ravaged, its people decimated. The human cost was staggering. The defenestration of Prague serves as a chilling reminder that even the most bizarre events can have profound consequences. It underscores the unpredictability of history. It's a testament to the power of religious fervor, the fragility of peace, and the unpredictable nature of history. The defenestration was a spark that ignited a continent-wide inferno. And that's how a defenestration changed the course of history. The ripples of that fateful day are still felt in the annals of European history. The vast Australian outback, a land of scorching sun, rugged beauty, and emus. These large, flightless birds are native to Australia and have long been a part of its unique ecosystem. In the 1930s, these flightless birds became the unlikely enemy in a war that would become legendary. This conflict, known as the Great Emu War, is one of the most unusual chapters in Australian history. After World War I, veterans settled in Western Australia, cultivating wheat farms. These veterans were promised land by the government, and they worked hard to make the arid land productive. But as the crops flourished, so did the emu population. The emus, in search of food, found the wheat fields to be an irresistible feast. Drawn to the abundant food, emus descended upon the farms, devouring crops and leaving destruction. The damage to the crops was extensive, threatening the farmers' livelihoods. The farmers, their livelihoods threatened, appealed to the Australian government for help. They were desperate for a solution to the emu invasion. The government responded with military force. They decided to deploy soldiers to combat the emu threat. Armed with Lewis guns, soldiers were dispatched to wage war on emus. The plan was to reduce the emu population and protect the crops. The emus proved surprisingly elusive, their speed and agility making them difficult targets. The soldiers found it challenging to hit the fast-moving birds. The soldiers' machine guns seemed inadequate against the feathered foe. Despite their efforts, the emus continued to evade capture. The emus continued their assault on the wheat fields, their numbers undiminished. The farmers' plight grew more desperate as the emus ravaged their crops. The Great Emu War became a humiliating defeat for the Australian army. The soldiers were forced to retreat, unable to overcome the emu menace. News of the war spread, turning the Australian government into an object of ridicule. The public found the idea of a war against emus both absurd and amusing. The emus, victorious, continued to roam the outback, a testament to the resilience of nature. They had outsmarted the military and secured their place in history. The Great Emu War stands as a bizarre footnote in military history, a reminder of the absurdity of war. It remains a unique and fascinating story of man versus nature. High in the Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia lies a pass shrouded in mystery, a place that has intrigued and baffled researchers for decades. In February 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers embarked on a journey that ended in tragedy, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group set off with high spirits and a thirst for adventure, unaware of the fate that awaited them in the frozen wilderness. Their goal was to reach Mount Otorten, a challenging but achievable peak, known for its treacherous conditions and breathtaking views. When the hikers failed to return, a search party was dispatched, braving the harsh elements in hopes of finding the missing group. Days later, searchers stumbled upon a scene of horror, one that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. The hikers' tent, ripped open from the inside, lay abandoned, its contents scattered in the snow, as if they had fled in a panic. Footprints, some barefoot, led away from the tent, disappearing into the vast, unforgiving wilderness. The bodies of the hikers were found scattered, some with strange injuries including skull fractures and missing eyes, adding to the enigma. Theories abound, from avalanches to military experiments and UFO sightings, each more fantastical than the last. The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century, a puzzle that continues to captivate the imagination. Was it a tragic accident, a natural disaster, or something more sinister? The answer may never be known, lost to the annals of history. The Dyatlov Pass Incident serves as a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie hidden in the wilderness, waiting to be uncovered. The story of the Trojan War is one of the most enduring tales of all time. At the heart of this legend lies the Trojan horse, a symbol of cunning strategy and ultimate victory. For centuries, the Trojan horse has been celebrated as a masterpiece of military deception. But what if the story we know is not the whole truth? Imagine the scene, the sun setting on the plains of Troy, casting long shadows over the towering walls. For 10 years the Greeks had laid siege to Troy, their armies clashing in brutal battles. Desperate for a breakthrough, the Greeks devised a daring plan to build a giant wooden horse and offer it as a gift. The Trojans, weary of war, hauled the massive structure within their city walls, unaware it concealed a deadly secret. As night fell, Greek soldiers hidden within the horse emerged, opening the city gates to their comrades. The Greeks poured into the unsuspecting city, unleashing a wave of destruction. The past is full of strange stories and unanswered questions. These events teach us an important lesson. The unexpected can change the course of our world in ways we can't even imagine. So, remember, history is much more than what we read in textbooks. It's filled with mysteries, tragedies, and wonders that still hold the power to shock us. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, keep seeking the truth and stay curious.